Good afternoon, people. Good afternoon, everyone. How has your day been? How did your day go today? Mine has been great so far. So let me allow some people join us online before we kick this off because this promises to be great. This promises to be life changing. This promises to be something out of this out of the ordinary for sure. I We're starting a new life today. We're starting a new series today. Okay. Um, and this promises to be loaded. It promises to be loaded. So please, whenever you join, let us know where you're joining from so that we all can take this forward. I'm going to start this very quickly as I don't want to waste your time at all. Before we start typing or reacting to everything, I just want everyone to arrive. I think we have a couple of people here, so I can kick it off. Tonight is not about hype. It's not about hype at all. It's about honesty. It's about honesty. And I need you to present for this one. Seriously. Okay. Earlier today, 12 noon my time, I was at the garage. Just routine check. Took my car in for service. Routine service, I'll say. Nothing special. Oil, inspection, what you have a normal day for a normal service of a new car. And while I was, while I was standing there waiting, so I haven't given my car uh, to the one in charge, and I was in the waiting lounge waiting for my car to be serviced. A trailer pulls into the lot. So these car trailers that carries cars, right? It pulls it into the lot. And I was watching from a glass barrier, okay? And I watched them unload two cars. Two. First, a Lamborghini Urus. Hello, Rasha. Thanks for joining. A Lamborghini Urus was the first car that was offloaded. Then, right behind it, a Rolls-Royce Phantom was being offloaded. All right, so you have the first car that was offloaded was a Lamborghini Urus. The second one was a Rolls-Royce Phantom. Thanks for joining. Please let us know where you're joining from. Thank you. Please just stay with me. I'm just starting the series. And I didn't when these cars were being pulled out or offloaded from the lot. I didn't bring out my phone. I didn't take pictures. I just stood there and I watched. Let me ask you something. Just type it in the chart. What was the first thought that came to your mind when I said Lamborghini and Rolls-Royce? It's interesting. It's interesting. You see how different we are all. We're all different. But I just stood there watching these cars being offloaded. As I stood there, a question hit me. Now, this is not from admiration or not from the point of envy, but a question hit me as I stood there watching these cars being offloaded. Why would someone pay this much for a car? Why would someone pay this much for a car? When we're talking about this car, if you know the cost of a Lamborghini Urus, it's around 310,000 US dollars entry price. Then the Rolls-Royce Phantom, it goes up 600K up to 800K. Why would someone pay this much for a car? Because let's be honest, the Lamborghini still has 4 wheels, 4 tires. That Rolls-Royce still, it will take you only from point A to point B. It has only 4 tires too. You can buy 10 cars with the price, with the amount you bought one Rolls-Royce. So that means you can buy, or if I ask it in a different way, how will you go buy one car, when you can buy, you can use that money to buy 10 cars, yeah? And those cars will do the same thing. Or you take 1/10 of that money to buy one car, and that car will do what this car is doing for you. I was just thinking, as I was looking at the whole event unfold before me, I was thinking. So now this is from the point of view, the buyer, right? Like, hey, Matt walks into a store and he pays 800K for a Rolls-Royce Phantom. I thought about it on the other, I flipped the coin. How come one company, can sell a car 10 times the cost of another and people still line up? How come one company sells a car 10 times the cost of another and people still line up to buy? How come a company can sell one car 10 times the price of others and people still line up to buy? And the car is doing the same thing, chauffeuring you from point A to point B. This is very important. Well, let me ask it this other way. Why does one command silence and the other is just for transportation? Why does one car command silence and the other car is just for transportation? And that is when it hits me. That's when it hits me. This is not about cars. Hello guys, thanks for joining. Thank you so much for joining. This is not about cars. This is about value. It is not about cars. It is about value. That moment, while I was in the garage, I was in the garage, I was looking at this unfold before me. That moment, standing there, gave birth to this series. So I'm starting a new series today called Built Value. Built Value. This is not money. We're not talking money here. We're not talking hype. We're not talking status. But this question is in my mind. Why are some people treated like luxury while others are treated like options? I'll ask the question again because I want this to really sink in your mind as you watch this live and as you're going to watch this later. Why are some people treated like luxury while others are treated like options? Now, I have a question for you. Have you ever felt overlooked? Like, have you ever felt underestimated or underpriced in your life? Have you ever? For those that are online, have you ever felt overlooked, underestimated? Have you ever? See, if you have ever felt overlooked, you have ever felt underestimated, you have ever felt underpriced in any way in this life, you're not alone. You are definitely not alone. You're definitely not alone. I want to start from a point like the first thing that came to mind is value is not equal to effort. Value is not equal to effort. So there are times you kill yourself, you do all you have to do, just keep on going and going and going and going. That is not what value is. That is definitely not what value is. Here's the first truth we have to deal with today. Value has never been about effort. A lot of people work hard. A lot of people try. A lot of people show up. But effort has never been the currency of value. Effort has never been the currency of value. Consistency is. Reputation is. Identity is. So I'll take that again. Effort has never been the currency of value. So you might say, hey, Matt, then what are the currencies? All right. Consistency is a currency of value. Reputation is a currency of value. Identity is a currency of value. If you don't mind, you can type this in the chat. People don't value potential. People don't value potential. They value patterns. People don't value potential. Potential is what you could be. No, nobody values that. People value patterns. What you are repeating, what you are doing. That's what is valued, not potential. All right. That's the first truth. The second truth here is this: you are always being prized. While I was standing there, this thought started hitting my mind. You are always being prized. Whether you like it or not, whether you know or not, you're always being prized. So it's not a case of, hey, Matt, why will you say that? Am I a commodity? Oh, in this world, we are in the marketplace. The earlier you realize that, the better for you. And the earlier you realize that you are always being prized, whether you like it or not. Every single day you are being prized. At work, yes. In relationships, yes. In the family, yes. In rooms you walked into, yes. Not with money though, but with trust, with responsibility, with access, with opportunity. Okay, those prizes will always be there. So I'd like to ask you this question at this point. Where in your life do you feel underpriced right now? Where? Where in your life do you feel underpriced? I don't want you to write it anywhere. I don't want you to write it in the chart. But I want you to think about it. You can't watch my videos and not live with thoughts. So think about this. Where in your life do you feel most underpriced right now? Is it in your work? Is it in your relationship? Or is it in your self-confidence? And let me tell you, if there's an area in your life where you feel underpriced, you are not alone. You are not alone. And just so you know, that's why this series exists. We're going to deal with that in this series. We're going to deal with that in this series. That's why this series exists. The third truth or thought that came to my mind is luxury is quiet. Luxury is quiet. I told you when I was in the garage, I saw this happening before me, and this thought started hitting me from different corners. Luxury is quiet. Hello, Stricado. Thanks for joining. Do you notice something about those cars I talked about? The Lamborghini Urus and the Rolls-Royce Phantom. They weren't loud. They weren't explaining themselves. Like when they brought them into the garage, they weren't loud. They weren't explaining themselves. I did say in one of the lives that luxury don't explain. It assumes. And this is where people lose value. This is where people lose value. They talk too much. Right? You see people talk too much. They explain too much. And they try to defend too much. They talk too much. They explain too much. They try to defend too much. High value doesn't argue for relevance. No. I saw that today. It hit me real hard. High value doesn't argue for relevance. Let me ask you something and answer this question honestly with yourself, by yourself. Where in your life, which area of your life have you been trying to convince instead of becoming? Which area of your life have you been trying to convince people that you are that instead of becoming? I think it is better to work on becoming than try to convince people. I think it's absolutely better to work on becoming. If you remember the framework we talked about, the be, do, have framework, becoming is the be. I think it's better to work on becoming than try to convince people that you are what you are not, or you are what you claim you are. The fourth truth that hit me was about availability and boundaries. Why do premium things limit access? Why appointments only? Why wait lists? Why? Because availability sends a signal. Availability actually sends a signal. Well, you know what? That is not arrogance, and it is all structure. When these cars were to be brought into the showroom, into the garage, if I was not there at that time, taking my car in for servicing, I wouldn't have seen them being brought in. They don't just drive in and drive in like the other cars, like our cars do. They had special places prepared for them. So there must have been a lot of back and forth between the owner and the garage owners to say, oh, I'm going to bring in the car today. I'm going to bring in the cars today. I don't want to drive them in the snow. I want a carrier to come pick them from home. Things like that. I was just thinking the whole possibilities in my mind. I was like, wow. And people who are always available unintentionally communicate low boundaries. So if you're a person and you're always available, you're just communicating low boundaries. You're telling everybody, I can be, you can catch me anytime. My time is worthless. Whatever you say is what we'll do. You can catch me anytime. That is people. If you are too available, that's the message you're actually sending out. You can catch me anytime. I don't have boundaries. But they are saying that unintentionally, without knowing that's what they're saying. All right. Do you struggle with saying no? So I in this series we've been talking a lot about being available and all that. Do you really, as you watch this live, or as you're going to watch this later, do you struggle with saying no? Do you really struggle with saying no? If you do, we're going to fix that in this live, or in this series. We're going to fix that. Now let's go to the core truth number 5 that hit me today in the garage. Value is built in private. So if you're just joining us, we're talking about built value, and today's talk is on why are some people treated like luxury while others are treated like options. Why do we have treatment for some people as luxury while others are, you just treat them as if you can make do with, you can make do and just move on. So the fourth truth is value is built in private. Nobody saw Rolls-Royce becoming Rolls-Royce. Nobody saw Rolls-Royce becoming Rolls-Royce. Thank you so much for you guys in the chat. I see you. Nobody clapped during decades of refinement. Value is built in private. Value is built by repetition, discipline, obscurity. You stay in private, you create your value, you build it there. All right? Let me talk to the person who feels invisible here. Or if you watch this video later, you're not unseen because you're insignificant. No. You're unseen because you're still being formed. You're still in your formation period. I talked about the understanding the seasons of your life. I did a video on that. If you have not seen it, please go check that on my channel. Understanding the seasons of your life. You're not unseen. You're not in the center right now. Not because you're invisible or because you're insignificant. No. You're actually still being formed. And formed, value is not formed in the public. Value is formed in private. But hear me, if you abandon the process too early, you stay common forever. If you abandon the process of formation too early, you remain common forever. There won't be any value attached to your final product because you botched the process. You felt there's no need to wait. You just feel there's no need to wait. I just need to move. I'm in a hurry, man. I'm in a hurry. Okay. I'm not against that. But what I'm saying is that you need to understand the season you are in. You need to know when it's formation season. You need to know when you can be in the limelight. There are times when you do things out of sync. If you go into the limelight, you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked at what people in the limelight face. Now the question is, are you made? Can you handle that? Do you have the capacity? If you're not formed, if you don't wait, if you don't follow the right time and get things done the right way, of course you will get there and you will break. So value is created in silence. This series is not about motivation, I dare say, friends. This series is not about motivation, no. It's about becoming someone life can't ignore. It's about becoming someone life can't ignore. It's not about motivation. I'm not here to do motivation today. I saw this happen before me in the car garage this afternoon, and it changed my thoughts today. Becoming someone life can ignore. I want to leave you with one question. All right, I want to leave you with this question. What are you consistently building that increases your value over time? What are you consistently building that increases your value over time? Because value is not claimed. Value is not, you don't inherit value. You don't. That is the exact reason why you see somebody of great value, when he's got kids, the kids, you'll be shocked at what they come out as. Because value it's not genetically transmitted. No. And by the way, it's not even sexually transmitted. So if you're married to somebody of high value, that doesn't mean you will get valued. You become valuable too. No. Value is personal. You got to work on your own value. You need to work on it. So the question is, what are you consistently building that increases your value over time? Because value will be increased over time. What? Value is not claimed. Value is not inherited. Value is built. Hence the title of this series, Built Value. All right, guys. The next episode, we're going to talk about something uncomfortable, right? The next episode, we're going to talk something very uncomfortable. Why being nice, always available, and easy has quietly lowered the value of many good people. I talked about, in one of the videos we had here on our series, we talked about why good people remain in places that they've overgrown for too long. All right? We talked about that, and that video resonated. So thank you so much for your comment on that video. Now I want to talk about something else. Why is it that being nice and being always available and easy has quietly lowered the value of some good people? And you know what? Like always on this my channel, we don't just point out the problem. We point out the problem and we talk about the solution. And we're going to look at how to change that. So the question is, why is it that being nice, why is it that you're always available, why is it that you're always easy to deal with, has quietly lowered the value of many good people? We'll talk about the why, then we'll talk about the solution. Stay with me on this journey. The series just started today. The series is called Built Value. And this talk we just had, this episode, is all about why some people are treated like luxury and others are treated like options. The question now becomes, how do you want to be treated? Luxury or option? The choice is yours, my friend. Thank you so much for your time. And if you've not subscribed to our channel, kindly subscribe. We got a lot of materials for you to go through. And let us know what you think about these materials. Thank you so much, and have a great day. I'll talk to you guys later in the day. Bye for now. Matt Miller, signing out.